Okay, hello. I'm assuming my volume levels are still set properly, which it looks like they are. If they're not, let me know. So I'm back with another Marvel Heroes stream because they have patched the hell out of this game, getting it prepped for launch. Here in the Iron Man Hall of Armors, they've obviously done the most important thing, which is add all of the Iron Man armors to this wall. Wow, amazing. Um, but nobody wants to be this Iron Man, because that's lame. So what we're going to do is be this Iron Man, whose head is on fire, which in and of itself is pretty obnoxious. So they've added these cosmetic effect artifacts. I've got two of them here, the Smoke of Zarathos and the Embers of Balthak. And the Iron Man costume has a third one equipped, but I don't remember what it's called. That makes your head be on fire. But you can equip more than one of these at a time, so you can craft one into a costume, so that the costume has that effect permanently attached to it, like this. But only one of those. But you can equip other ones separately. So I can equip this obnoxious red smoke and these embers, in addition to my head being on fire, and just look at that. It's beautiful. I am the most obnoxious Iron Man possible, at least right now. I'm hoping later on they put in some more, visual effects that make it so that I can be more of an eyesore, because that's my favorite thing to do in an online game, is just be horrible to look at. But other than that, the updates seem to be pretty good. I probably shouldn't have left that area because I can't do the endgame content yet, but I can show you the kiosks they put in for it. So there's 3 different kinds of endgame content things. Basically, once you hit the end of the game, you can go do these daily missions. These ones are just like endgame level versions of stuff that you've done throughout the game. The ones on the red kiosk are more difficult, and they require a cosmic key, which is like an endgame drop, or you can buy them. Of course you can buy them. That unlocks it. So you need a cosmic key to run this. If you're in a group, you only need one cosmic key, and you do the whole thing as a group. It only expends one of them. Seems like that's kind of the way to go, is get a group of 5 people together and just like run, however many of those you want in a day, because everyone's going to be able to contribute keys, and theoretically you're getting more keys as you play that content. And then the challenges are kind of what you'd call the actual, like, fancy endgame content stuff. You can see this one, I think, is actually, like, timed, so, like, you have to jump into it at a certain time. I could be wrong. I don't actually know what any of these are because I can't play them. I do know the group challenges are for large-scale groups. So group challenge 1 is like a 10-person thing, and then the cosmic key ones, I believe, are even larger. So you can get like a 30-person group challenge going on here, which is basically just like go survive waves of enemies that get increasingly more difficult. So you start out fighting, street thugs and stuff, and you end up fighting dinosaurs and MODOKs and MODOK dinosaurs, which is probably the best thing in the game. There's MODOKs that have T-Rex heads. It's pretty great. I don't think I'll be able to find one of those in the chapter I'm in right now, unfortunately. But, yeah. Oh, and also, this wasn't on here last time I streamed. This little dinosaur dude, that's Old Lace from Runaways. It's a cosmetic pet. Hooray for cosmetic pets. There's a couple of those in the store now. Iron Buddy is a tiny Iron Man. There's Old Lace, and there's a third one, which I guess is right now a fortune card only drop. It mentions, oh wow, it actually doesn't mention it. I know you can get Herbie from the Fantastic Four, like, cartoon that was in, like, I don't know, 1970 something, where they couldn't use the Human Torch, so they came up with like an obnoxious robot sidekick named Herbie. He's a pet in this. They added him when they mentioned that the Human Torch wouldn't be making the game for launch. So he's been added to the post-launch lineup, which now I believe is Human Torch, Nova, Squirrel Girl, Emma Frost, and someone else. who I don't remember. Oh well. I'm really looking forward to Squirrel Girl, personally. She's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to jump into Chapter 3 here. My earlier stream of this, like a couple weeks back, was like Chapter 1 and 2, I think. I think it was mostly just Chapter 1. Yeah, because I didn't show off the docks at all. So, we're kind of skipping a chapter. I'm jumping right into 3. This is a little higher level than before, so I've got some more stuff I can do. Combat has started kind of, like, becoming interesting at this point. So you may see me die a bit, and I've got the audio bug again. Oh, great. So this is a new thing with this patch. Occasionally the game decides that it doesn't want to have music anymore and just play the, like, weird load screen sound forever. It's kind of obnoxious. But that'll fix on another load, which I'll be able to do here real quick. There's some snake dudes. I shot those snake dudes with lasers. So we're gonna go into the Poison Glade. Well, and keep in mind, like, the post-launch character list is only like 5 dudes right now, but this game's going to have more characters added to it over time. This isn't like if they're putting it out and then they're putting out the DLC and it's done. This is one of those things that they intend to support for like a number of years. Like, the model they had mentioned that they're kind of going after is sort of like the League of Legends stuff. It's not exactly the same because it's not the same genre of game. This is like a Diablo-style thing, and that's, you know, a MOBA or an action RTS, whatever you want to call it. But Marvel Heroes seems to kind of be working out well so far. I don't know, I mean, with how the Marvel movies and stuff are going, if they keep adding characters over time, I'm sure it's always going to be, like, tie-ins to whatever the movie is. Oh, here's the thing that I was wondering if I'd actually see happen today. We got a dude just ended up getting slapped onto our team here, because we're in the same instance. That's a thing you can turn off if you want to. There's auto-teaming for instances. It's kind of cool sometimes, and sometimes you just don't want to team with someone. But when you're teamed with someone, you get bonus EXP, and, you know, better loot drops. So it's nice to be teamed. Now, obviously, Iron Man is kind of a ranged DPS dude. I'm having some problems running out of, well, in this game they call it Spirit. You might call it Mana or Endurance or whatever, depending on what game you play. Iron Man's got problems with that. He keeps running out, and he's got a skill specifically to make it so he has more of it. And I keep upping that every chance I get. It's still not quite enough. I'm thinking maybe I might be playing him wrong. Or maybe he's just not very good at energy conservation. He is Iron Man after all. Doesn't exactly think things through. And that reminds me, one of the weird things about Iron Man is, like, all these equipment slots basically make sense, except for one. So you got repulsors, you got armor, you got boots, you got a helmet. Sure, those are things Iron Man uses. Those make sense. And then that last slot you might think would be, like, arc reactors, or even something dumb like shoulder pads. It's a belt. Not like a robot belt, just a belt. Like a leather belt. I don't know if that's a placeholder that they forgot to end up fixing, or if Iron Man is just, like, killing these snakes and making some really nice snake skin belts. Which, maybe he does that. He makes a lot of other things. I'm not gonna hold it against him. Oh, here's a chest, which they're supposed to have fixed, and it looks like they didn't, so that only dropped credits. Those are supposed to drop gear. Thanks, Gazillion Entertainment. But they've got some time before launch. I'm sure things will get sorted out by then. Iron Man is a pretty noisy dude. Especially if you're firing his missiles all the time. Although, that's much less spammable than it used to be, and the smoke effects are about half as big as they once were, so that's nice. When I played Iron Man back in the closed beta, you could just, like, mash that power and be constantly firing rockets all the time. Now it's got a little bit of a cooldown. A little bit of a cooldown. Maybe not enough of one. Also seems to use more endurance type stuff than it used to. Anyway, we killed the dude, and I was hoping this would actually lead me to the next area, and it looks like it didn't. So here's the thing about Madripoor. I think the instance it generated today might be bugged. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just lost. I've been going around this place for about, I don't know, the last hour and a half. And I cannot find the entrance to the next area. And I see people complaining in the zone chat that they also can't find the entrance to the next area. And I'm thinking, maybe Madripoor's not working today. Maybe Madripoor forgot to have an entrance to the next area, because the areas in Marvel Heroes are randomly generated. I'm gonna destroy that snake statue. The areas in Marvel Heroes are randomly generated each day, or, well, maybe not every 24 hours exactly. I imagine whenever the zone gets emptied out, and then someone enters it, it generates a new instance. It adds some nice replayability, but it also apparently means that sometimes they might get kind of screwed up. That's probably not intentional, because, you know, you don't usually want zones to not have an exit. Also teleporting ninjas, but I don't know. So today we're going to explore this map. We're going to try and find the lost exit to the next area. It's a very important thing to find. There's a pile of dead ninjas. So this is basically what I've been doing for a while. Walking around the edge of things, trying to find doors. I've found a number of side quests, which is nice, because I thought Marvel Heroes didn't have a lot of side quests, and it turns out it actually does. They're just not pointed out to you. And some of them are way less obvious than others. We'll see if I can find the sinking boat later. If we end up along the coast, I might run into that one. But if you keep an eye out for doors, which they've now helpfully made glow. They didn't used to glow, which is probably why I had no idea there were a lot of them before. Or maybe they just weren't in the game before, I don't know. Teleporting ninjas! Teleporting ninjas! So obnoxious. I'm losing track of what I'm talking about because all these teleporting ninjas, they're just really distracting. Maybe I should just let my homing missiles kind of handle it. Yeah. So, right. Side quests. Doors. We really want to find a door. Because I would like to get to the next part of this game. But Iron Man seems pretty fun. He's changed since last time I played him, just a bit. It's like he's a little more laser focused. Earlier on, they actually had him with like a bunch of ballistic projectiles and missiles and stuff, which seemed kind of weird. A lot more like War Machine and a lot less like Iron Man. And then they basically redid him. So that was a good move, because I have no idea what they were thinking before. And, you know, he's got some good mobility. I'm hoping to hit level 14 pretty soon here. What level am I anyway? Oh, I am level 14. Well, what? Why didn't I buy the flying skill? What's wrong with me? Do I have points? Yeah, I can buy flight. Jeez. Why didn't I do that? Okay, well, we're gonna level up pretty soon again here. And then I'll buy flight. And you guys can see the travel powers in this game, which are, of course, only on characters that can do them. So not every character's got a travel ability. Like, the Thing, obviously, you know, doesn't really have a whole lot he can do other than run around. Iron Man can fly, Spider-Man can web swing. Characters who you'd expect to have the abilities, for the most part, do have them. The only one that doesn't, in my experience, is Deadpool. He can teleport in the comics, unless that's changed recently. And he doesn't actually have any sort of, like, teleport travel power kind of thing in this. Which seems strange to me. But Deadpool was a really strong character overall, so maybe they thought that would be giving him too much mobility. I could see that being a thing. Very, very possibly. Well, and another thing I think might be bugged is the glowing dudes are supposed to be tougher than normal enemies and drop like a ton of EXP. Oh, he has a roll and a teleport. Okay. Like I said, they've changed a lot of things since I played a lot of the characters. Deadpool having a teleport is good. That was something I had like gotten really angry about on the message boards, because that's what you do in betas. You get really angry about things when they get characters wrong. I think I also complained about Thing having like a lot of jumpy powers. He's not a jumpy guy. He's not a jumpy guy, you know. He's made of rocks. Hulk's pretty jumpy. Thing's not so much. I don't know if they changed that, but I don't really care. I'm probably not going to play that much of the Thing. Well, let's be honest here. When this game launches, I'm pretty much just going to be playing as Spider-Man. I'm trying out a lot of characters in the beta. Nope, we got a lot of dudes here. And I am low on energy. There we go. Spider-Man's kind of my guy, you know. And I want to try a lot of different characters in the beta, so I get an idea of how everyone plays, just in case there's like that one character who catches me completely off guard that I really enjoy. And so far, I haven't really had one of those. Like, Iron Man's pretty fun. Deadpool seemed pretty fun, although I didn't play him as much as I probably should have. Punisher was interesting. Scarlet Witch, as you guys might have seen on the last live stream, was pretty cool, and I want to try her out more. Overall, I'm pretty surprised by the number of characters that I'm liking in this game. Oh man! Oh man, I found it! I found the next area! Oh boy, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I'm gonna do a dance emote. Oh wait! Dance is not recognized! It's not a... There's no dance emote in this game! There's no dance emote in this game! I don't know if you realize how much of a problem that is. You can pose. You can beckon. You can wave.
I'm Iron Man, but you already knew that.
Yeah, I mean, we did know that. But there's no dancing. There's no dancing. Everyone needs a dance emote. How can you launch a game where you can't just be a dancing Iron Man? See, this is why I need to be on the development team. Because I would make lots of important decisions, like the Thing being less jumpy, and Iron Man being able to dance. I'm pretty sure that's how you make video games. Did I mention I really hate the teleporting ninjas? I don't, like, hate them in a sense that they're bad design or anything. I just... Oh, whoop, that was the wrong button. I just find them really obnoxious, like, in a good way. They're fun to fight. because they keep you like paying attention instead of just standing there shooting in one direction the whole time, which has been a problem for some early game stuff, but I know will change later on. Okay. We need to head north-ish, because that's where my waypoints are. Also, there's a different map you can use. It's this overlay thing. I don't like it. I don't like this at all. I think it looks terrible. It's at a bad resolution, and it's kind of in the way. And looking up in the corner is not a big deal. Some people might like that, though. I don't know. Maybe. I'm at like a disadvantage whenever someone brings up Diablo or Diablo 2 or Diablo 3 in relation to Marvel Heroes, because while I know this game is really heavily based on those, I haven't actually played any of them. Like I own Diablo 2 on my like digital Blizzard account or whatever, which I can't access right now because my authenticator is busted and I need to talk to support to get that fixed. But I haven't actually like really played Diablo 2. I think I played like 10 minutes of it and went, wow, this game is really old, and then I didn't play it anymore because I was kind of like 10 years late to the party. Whoa, aliens. Alien bugs. Bug aliens. Yeah, lots of them. Lots of bug aliens. Oh, why am I not shooting a laser? Oh, and Miss Marvel is here helping me out. And for those who have been watching comics, and no, she's now Captain Marvel and not Miss Marvel. They actually have that costume in here, and it looks pretty good. I'm a big fan of her new costume. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Assuming it's in the store and not one of the rare drops, which it could be a rare drop. I hope it's not. I guess we have to destroy this thing. The Blizzard Authenticator, because I did pick up World of Warcraft at one point, really briefly. I was like, I should try out this WoW thing. My brother plays it, he really likes it. I should see what that's all about. I think the highest I ever got was like level 14. World of Warcraft just didn't seem to be my thing. It might be because everyone I talked to... Whoa, there's a robot here. Every single person I talked to was on a different server. Like, all of my different friends were each on a different server, so I wasn't really able to play with anyone. Because I had to, like, commit to a server that one person was on and nobody else was, and that's just obnoxious. It's one of those things I'm glad that MMOs seem to be getting away from as a whole lately. And while we're in this relatively peaceful area, I can show off two things. So the first is that for like, oh gosh, what's the price in the store on these guys now? It was 50 cents before, now it's 15 cents. You get one-time use summons for crafters or your stash, or just like, you know, normal vendor stuff. So I can just be like, you know, yo dude, I'm donating all this dumb stuff at you to level you up. You still aren't leveled up enough. Then we can craft some things, and it's really nice. Although it's not as useful as you might think, because you can always just hit the body slider, immediately like pop back to Avengers Tower, do stuff there, and then kind of come here. But when you drop a vendor like this, one of these dudes, anyone else in the area, on your team or not, can use it. So they're pretty nice. And they're cheap. It's one-time use, but it's also only like 15 cents. So that's not the right one. I want this recipe. There we go. It kind of hits this spot where I'm like, well, it's scummy that they're charging for a one-time use thing. I never like that in free-to-play games. but it's only 15 cents, so I'm kind of like, I guess that's okay. I'm iffy on it, but it's kind of okay. All of this stuff that I got from the store. As you may have guessed, there's these things called fortune cards. Now that's where I got the, I kind of mentioned these earlier when I was talking about the cosmetic effects, and these include the Iron Buddy pet as a possible drop.
You can get a lot.
What are you doing, Iron Man? Jeez, calm down. Dude, just calm down. Anyway, you can also get some other stuff. It said there are like 4 exclusive costumes to those cards, and I got 3 of them. I just kind of blew a bunch of the beta free stipend money on them and opened like 40 packs. I got a lot of stuff. I got like not only those 3 cosmetic effects, but also 3 more. They're just kind of duplicates of the other ones. Just a shitload of EXP boosts, which stack not in the way you would think. I should mention, the pricing has not been finalized. The pricing has not been announced. The 15 cents thing is pure speculation on my part. I'm assuming that $10 equals 1,000 points, based on almost every other game in the world doing that. I could be wrong, and maybe $10 is 800 points, because that's the other way things like to do it. Maybe I'm wrong, and $10 is 10,000 points, and everything's really cheap. That would be wonderful. That's not happening, though. But anyway, what was I talking about? Right, the cards. So you kind of activate Pants of Hardest Rock. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's an unfortunately named item. So when you open the cards, you have a chance to get a lot of stuff. I got 3 of the 4 exclusive costumes, which seem to be Wolverine Days of Future Past, which, you know, that's not a bad costume. Unmasked Deadpool, which is a terrible costume. I don't want to be Unmasked Deadpool. Unless maybe his head is on fire. Then we'll talk about it. And Thor Destroyer Armor, which was when, like, in the comics, like, Thor's soul briefly possessed, like, the Destroyer robot magic thing. And it's pretty cool because it's the Destroyer, but it's got, like, Thor's cape and helmet and hammer. So you're just running around as, like, Thor Destroyer beating dudes up. Yeah. And then I got this thing. I have no idea what this is. I'm guessing I shouldn't have picked it up. Other stuff that I got from the cards, though, are these retcon devices. I got, like, a lot of them. A lot of them. And the last thing that's worth mentioning is this this recipe, which is Craft Portal to Confidential Bovine Sector. Yeah, that's pretty explicitly, like, just, you know what that's gonna do. But it requires 5 medallions, which are not these guys. These medals are from defeating bosses as you progress through the game. Medallions are endgame versions of these medals. So you've got to get to the endgame and beat Hood, Sabretooth, Rhino, Taskmaster, and Wizard, which seems like it's mostly early game stuff. I'm not exactly sure when you encounter the Wizard. But Hood, Sabretooth, Rhino, and Taskmaster are all within the first 2 chapters. Wizard's got to be just like, I missed him, or he's in Chapter 3. And then you get that. It takes 10 hours to craft, which I'm hoping you don't have to be logged in that whole time, but everything else you craft is, like, much shorter. We're talking, like, 2 minutes tops. But I'll move on from that, since I'm sure you're getting bored of watching me just sit here and talk about menus. But I'm sure it's the cow level. Personally, my theory is it's going to use the Skrull cows, because that's a Marvel thing that actually happened in the comics. Really early on, Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic was like, Skrulls are dumb, I'm just going to make them think they're cows. So he just made the Skrulls think they're cows, and they went and they were cows in a field. And they didn't know they weren't cows. The end. Welcome to 1960s Marvel Comics, everybody. And this is a lot of ninjas. And also no sound. Marvel Heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. I got this handled, though. They're not really doing much damage. And we leveled up! Thank God I can finally take the flight power. And y'all can see what that's like. So, the thing about flight in Marvel Heroes, and other travel powers, in fact, which are pretty similar to flight for the most part, is that... Oh, I can put 2 points in it. Stick it down here. Oh, jeez, more ninjas. You know what? Screw ninjas. We're just gonna fly away. Holy cow, that's a lot slower than I remember. Maybe they slowed it down. That's like run speed in the air. Also, it looks really dumb on this suit because it doesn't have emanation points in the hands or feet for flight jets. So it's just like Iron Man hovering around. But as you can see, it drains spirit really, really fast. Enemies can't attack you in the air, and it's not a toggle. So you can't, like, jump in the air and fight dudes. You can just kind of, like, sit in the air and not get attacked, and then attack dudes when you're on the ground. Now, coming from the Ultimate Alliance games, where you could, you know, fly in the air and shoot lasers at people, and it felt like you were Iron Man when you were doing that, this is kind of a disappointment. I'll be honest. They could have done flight better. I feel like they erred on the side of caution. And they tried to fit it into Diablo mechanics rather than trying to make it something new that kind of branched out from the established Diablo powers formula. It's also way slower. It used to be like twice that speed. I guess they slowed it down, which is really lame. Maybe... Hold on. I could be wrong in remembering, but I think it was also like a single... No, it wasn't a single rank thing. What am I talking about? Let's look at this. Plus 22% move speed, 10 spirit per second. Now, I have 200 spirit total, so that's about 20 seconds of flight at any given time, and then when I land, I am out of energy. Doesn't sound too hot to me. At higher levels, maybe that's worth it once I have a lot more energy, and I can rank it up to be a lot faster. Who knows, right? Oh, that's not a villain, that's a civilian. You know, maybe it'll be fine. But for now, I'm not too impressed. I can't blow up those boxes. Hey Thor, what's up?
Set your fears aside and learn.
Okay. And this is... I don't know who this is. Yukio's Charm. Okay, that's gonna be our first actual artifact that's not a cosmetic artifact. It doesn't say what it does, though. So, I guess we'll take that quest. And we've still got the load screen sound here. I'm gonna body slide back to Avengers Tower real quick, because I'm really tired of that load screen sound. And then we'll pop back. This will only take a second. Oh boy, Avengers Tower, hooray! And the audio seems to be working fine here.
Are you ready to focus your chi?
They added some more dudes, by the way. There's Iron Fist. Just because you see an NPC show up in the world, by the way, does not mean they will not be playable. Like War Machine right here. He's the contact to, like, form a guild. But obviously a lot of people want to play as War Machine. So just because he's there doesn't mean he's not going to be playable. Likewise, you know, Hank Pym's the Crafter. And they're coming out with an Ant-Man movie in Phase 3 of Marvel's whole cinematic universe thing. You can kind of bet that around the time they start hyping that up, Ant-Man's probably going to be a playable character in this. Like, I can't say that with any authority, but come on. The places that might discount that is if a character shows up in some sort of minor supporting fashion for another character. Oh my god, it didn't fix the problem at all. It didn't fix the problem at all. It's still doing it. Well, it's a beta. It's a beta. I apologize. This load screen sound issue where it doesn't go away when you load into levels. We're just going to have to live with it. Sound effects thankfully work again after a little bit, but we're missing out on the ambient audio of Madripoor, which I'm sure is very, very well crafted. I've got Iron Man's second tier basic attacks here. So we've got the Freon Ray instead of the Repulsor Ray, and the Repulsor Barrage instead of the Pulse Bolt. Obviously, Repulsor Barrage is very fast and relatively powerful. Freon Ray, you can kind of see, well, it didn't show up that time. You can see how it freezes enemies, which slows them down. Which is nice. They're going all slow. I think it slows their attack rate down too, which makes it pretty useful for bosses. Oh, we've got a cutscene here.
We getting haircuts?
Follow me.
Have a seat.
Yay! A ride!
Gentlemen, my name is James Wu, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Welcome to Madripoor, the armpit of the world.
Yeah, we noticed.
The place the bad guys go when the kitchen gets too hot.
I told Nick Fury you want to help Madripoor blow it off the map.
Be that as it may. Up until recently, it was a free-for-all, but now we're seeing a turf war between Hydra and the ninja warriors of the Hand.
I thought this place was strictly ninja territory.
It was, until Hydra started making some big, bold moves. Say hello to the main players. Viper, aka Madam Hydra. Her right-hand man, the Grim Reaper. Gorgon, the current leader of the Hand. And Elektra Nachios, the Hand's master assassin. We had Agent Carter in the field, undercover. The word is her cover's blown.
We'll go right now. We'll extract her.
If she's still alive.
Based on her last report, I think she found out something important to both sides.
The tablet.
That's my guess. When you find her, you're gonna have your hands full.
Great. Let's go beat some ninjas.
You say that with such glee.
Hey, I like what I like.
Funny thing about that cutscene is they're kind of introducing you to... Whoa, Iron Man, calm down. Oh, and he's going to give me a crafter summon. So you get those not just through the store, but you'll get them as rewards semi-frequently. I wouldn't say frequently. There's Rocket Raccoon. He's not a pet. He's a person. Don't discriminate. Anyway, so that cutscene introduces you to a number of enemies, like Gorgon, who you actually probably have fought by this point, which is kind of silly. But, you know, whatever, sure. That guy's got the space armor from Iron Man 3. Can't see it too well because he's not facing me, but whatever. So, now I just need to go beat some more dudes up. But we've got an instance mission to head towards, so that's good. And maybe this time the load screen audio won't stick. Nope, it did. Why did I even have any hope that it wouldn't? Oh well. So, by this point I was hoping like, yeah, I'm Iron Man, I can fly really fast, we'll get around really easy, this'll be much less tedious to watch, but it's like, this is how fast I'm flying. Oh my god. It's so slow. It's so slow. I can get around faster if I just spam this. So we'll just dash around a lot. The spacesuit armor seems pretty popular. There's a Avengers movie armor Iron Man. And you wonder why I called the video Iron Man Edition. It's because everybody plays Iron Man in this game. Everybody. Everybody plays Iron Man. It's not because he's great. He's kind of middling. Like, he's not the best character in the game or anything. He's not bad, though. But he's Iron Man, and so everyone plays as him. There's some dead guys. Oh, I guess we can go this way. That looks like the right way. Ooh, forgotten sewers. Someone just forgot about these sewers. It's a good thing I'm here to remember the sewers. And like I said, these glowing dudes that have like special names or special traits, like usually they have really high resistances or something. I think they're bugged, because they die way more easily than normal enemies. And it's pretty strange that that's a thing. They mentioned something in the patch notes recently that they were trying to fix that, or that it was supposed to be fixed, and it's not. It's not fixed at all. I found a shotgun! And Miss Marvel's bodysuit. Shotgun. So, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that some of the characters have weird equipment loadouts. And you can kind of tell who's got the weirder ones, because they're basically the characters that were introduced to the game earliest. Punisher is one of those. And unlike any other character in the game, and totally fitting for Punisher, he has 2 weapon slots, and is missing 1 defensive equipment slot. So he'll have like an assault rifle and a shotgun, or a grenade launcher and a rocket launcher as like gear. 2 separate gear things that are specifically just guns, which is kind of fun. That's a really large Jean Grey. Oh, now she's smaller again. Oh, that's the Venom medal. I forgot about that for a second. The Venom medal is fun. When you get beneath 50% health, your character like swells up in size and gets something like a 20% boost to offense and defense. Obviously that percentage can vary because the medals are randomized a little bit, but it's usually in about the 20% range. The medals add some nice variety to just like how people play characters in general, and we've got one of the quest markers right here. Or a new one, because the other 2 are still north. I guess we'll check out... Ah, blade shards, okay. Now I need to find the hilt. There's just, like, people hanging out. Sometimes you can actually see civilians in this game. They're pretty rare, though. Couple of Iron Mans hanging out, lasering some guys. No big. I'm also the only Iron Man I've ever seen using the Mark 1 armor. The only one. Which makes me feel great, because it's so dumb looking. In the right kind of way. Like, look how the glowy spot here, that's supposed to be in his arc reactor. It's not, it doesn't line up properly on this model. And the same thing for, like, if you notice when he's shooting energy, it's not actually, like, coming out of one of his hands. It's coming out of, like, the air between his hands, but slightly towards one of his hands. It's great. This model is so screwed up. It's my favorite. I was thinking about getting the Iron Buddy pet, but maybe someone who's watching can clear this up for me. Can you have more than one pet out at a time? Because I'd love to have both Iron Buddy and Old Lace, but I'm not gonna give up Old Lace for Iron Buddy. Like, I like Runaways too much to give up Old Lace. Like, I'm buying a lot of dumb stuff that I'm not actually gonna get in the full game once that comes out. But Old Lace, I'm definitely getting. Okay, there's a lot of dudes here. When I saw Madam Hydra say something, I'm not sure if she's actually in the area or not. Weirdly enough, Madam Hydra is actually kind of one of the instance bosses, open world boss characters for this area. Seems strange to me because she's supposed to be so high up in Hydra, but Hydra's not a thing I know a lot about in the comics. So maybe she's not, like, as much in charge of things as I think she is. I could be wrong. I thought she was, like, co-leader or something. Gotta jump over there and punch a robot. I see a lot of these dudes in the Marvel Knights Guild with this gold circle next to their name, and I don't know what that means. I was told some sort of PvP thing, and immediately I had to go, there's PvP? There's PvP apparently! So, that's a thing that I haven't checked out at all yet, and I'm probably not going to until endgame. Yeah, she's certainly talking. Defeat Madam Hydra has popped up as an event for me. I guess she's over this way. There she is! Hello, Madam Hydra. I'm gonna cover you in ice. Where is she? That Jean Grey just switched over into Phoenix mode. So Jean's got two modes. If you aren't familiar with Jean Grey from the comics or the X-Men movies, she's telekinetic, and then eventually she gets possessed by, like, crazy space god stuff, and becomes the Phoenix. I don't think we're actually hurting her while that shield's up. Oh, no, it's not. And in this game, you can switch between those two modes. You basically build up, like, Phoenix energy in your normal Jean Grey mode, and then you switch to Phoenix mode, which gives you an entirely different skill loadout in that mode. It's kind of neat. And as long as you're killing dudes, you can keep Phoenix mode going. It seems like a fun gimmick. I don't really care about Jean Grey though, so I'm probably not gonna actually try it out for a while. And you kind of get to see the clusterfuck that is open world bosses now. It's better now that the bosses have more movement. They teleport around, even ones that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for, like Venom has a teleporter apparently. But basically it's just you get a bunch of people together and you wail on someone. Shields down. Hey dude, we're busy here. You need to go away. But they're worth like a pretty reasonable amount of EXP. They drop those medals, which have fancy effects. And, of course, you get loot. You get some nice loot. That's what you want in this game. You want the loots. Shields up. And now it's down. Okay. She's gonna be down here in a second because people actually noticed her. There we go. So you can see she dropped a boatload of EXP. A lot of healing stuff. Loot's instanced. So though everyone's like running around desperately trying to grab their stuff, nobody else is gonna grab it. I've seen a lot of people really confused about this. But since you can never see someone else like take one of your things, whatever. let's see. 3% chance to make party invulnerable for 3 seconds when you take damage, and you regenerate 2 spirit when you defeat an enemy. That sounds interesting, but my hood metal is 3% chance to be invulnerable, or 2% chance to increase dodge chance by 30 for 3 seconds. I'm gonna stick with the move speed bonus one for now, just because I like moving faster. Oh, that didn't get me close enough. There we go. Okay, and we continue north. Marvel Heroes, a game where you perpetually walk north. That's not entirely true. Sometimes you go other directions. Like, you know, east. Hydramag. Sometimes I feel like the open world areas are a little excessively large. It's nice that there's, you know, a lot of stuff going on in them, like, oh look, it's a little bubble tea shop, that's cute. You know, and there's people inside it, it's bubble time, and there's a walrus. And they're, you know, talking about people or whatever. Sure, but it feels like it's kind of really arbitrary when they do try to add atmosphere, because it's like, oh, there's a bunch of civilians there in that bubble shop. Bubble tea shop. Cool. There's not a lot of civilians anywhere else. And there's all these goddamn robots out on the streets, so why do they feel safe in there? I don't know. Maybe this is just like every day in this city. Just robots everywhere, superheroes blowing them up. That could be it. Maybe their way of life is just unfamiliar to me, and I shouldn't judge. I really like those mechs, though. They explode nice. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. There's like a little moat here I'm crossing with some dudes on it. Yeah, we got an actual door up ahead. Amazing. See, I don't actually know what bubble tea is, other than that it's a thing. That's the shield agent we're looking for. Sharon Carter found. I guess the ambush isn't here anymore. There used to be an ambush that triggered when you found her. I guess they took it out. Wop wop. Okay, so now we can go to this instanced mission. The Hand Tower. And there's Elektra, who I'm not a fan of. And she seems to have some really weird anatomy problems on the left there.
I've been meaning to book that vacation to Tokyo.
Oh hey, Stevko is going to join us. Hello Stevko. You can't hear me and you don't know you're on a stream. Oh! And some more people. Oh geez, we're getting like a full party here. Crazy. This is crazy. Oh, retcom device just dropped. Whoop-de-doop-de-doop. I should let them know. Okay. So we are gonna team up and beat up a tower full of ninjas. Sounds like Iron Man is having some trouble back there. He'll catch up. These guys are just gonna run on ahead. I don't wanna fall behind. Some of these walls are destructive, which is cool. This game has a lot of environmental destruction stuff going on. which makes me pretty happy as someone who really liked the environmental destruction stuff in Old Alliance. Wow, that's a lot of EXP just sitting around. Well, yeah, we're not quite a full team here, but 4 people is close. I believe 5 is the max. So you'll get an idea of how a team can kind of play. An uncoordinated team that has no idea who each other are and was thrown together by the automatic team thing. Great. Punch some robots, or not robots, ninjas. Maybe they're robots. I don't know if we're going kind of Ninja Turtles with the ninjas here. I'm starting to have trouble talking, apparently. That Iron Man has a mini Iron Man. See? He's like a baby me. Yeah. That ninja is like embedded in the ceiling. Oh gosh. There's a lot of stuff happening. This boardroom is fucked. And that Iron Man, like me, has a head that's on fire, so we're obviously Iron Bros. I'm the only person I've seen running multiple visual effects, though. It could be because the artifact slots are actually useful for, you know, artifacts that boost your stats more than they are for being obnoxious looking. Which I'm willing to concede to that fact, yes. That's very true. Also, I can blow up walls. But, you know, at the same time, if they put out something that makes me, like, glow with searing purple energy or whatever, I'm gonna wear that. Unless artifacts are super, super powerful, which they could be. They could really be. I haven't seen them in a while. We're just kind of stomping our way through here. This is going pretty well. Jeez. I love blowing up walls. That's so fun. Blowing up tables. Blowing up ninjas. This game gets really crazy when you have a lot of people, but the nice thing is, the team size scaling for instance content works in my favorite way, which is rather than just buffing up enemy stats, they'll add more difficult enemy types to encounters, and they'll increase the number of enemies by a lot. So if I was coming through here solo, there would probably not be anywhere near this number of enemies. I mean, that would be just unreasonable to ask me to deal with. You know, I'm Iron Man, but I have my limits. But with a full team of people, or mostly full team of people, as this case is, we just have a ton of dudes, and it's great. City of Heroes did its scaling that way, and it's kind of my preferred way of scaling content to multiple players in a game. Borderlands 2 does the same thing, and well, I guess Borderlands 1 does also, but I haven't played that in a while. I am in a guild currently. Oh, here we go, we're on the roof. This should be the actual boss fight. I'm in a guild. The fine folks, well, fine's probably stretching it. The folks over at Something Awful started one up. It's, gosh, oh sorry. There's things to pay attention to here, just a little bit. Like, where the hell Electra is? There she is. Keep her iced. It's I believe it's. Oh man, now I don't remember what it is. That's my. No, that's not. Missions. Nope, I don't remember. Key for it. I don't remember. I don't remember how to bring up the guild menu. That's great. Okay. Well, I was hoping to just be like, it's this, and show you the roster. Which is only like 6 people so far, because, you know, closed beta. But guilds don't seem to do much. They give you a shared chat channel, which is nice. That sort of thing's always nice, you know. But there's no, like, overall benefit. There's not, like, a base or something. You don't have any sort of customizable appearance type gear things that can show like guild pride or whatever. By and large, guilds are kind of so. Chat channels are chat channels, but if you're gonna be on Mumble or whatever anyway, it don't matter. Which is kind of what I like to do. I hop on Mumble and play games with people. Let's revive our teammate here. Okay, if Electra would stop attacking me. Wow, what a jerk. I'm just trying to revive this teammate. There we go. I don't think anyone has like a straight up revive skill. There are not a lot of superhero characters that are healers, believe it or not. And the ones that are don't tend to make a whole lot of sense as playables in a combat-heavy game. But still, you'll have some characters who have team-based buff stuff. The Thing, in particular, is very team-oriented. Because, you know, Fantastic Four. They're iced up. Electra's being tricky, and we are dealing with a lot of ninjas. My health just keeps getting low without me paying any attention to it. I need to power up my shields as well. There we go. Give me a little bit of a buffer. Let's revive this dude again. Someday I'll revive them. Electra's just being a jerk here. Wow, Electra, you're mean. I don't like you. I'm not sure why she's aggroed on me. She teleported away. Maybe I can do it now. Nope. That ain't happening. Yeah, our teammate eventually just gave up and went back to the respawn point, I guess. Oh no, she just got up. There's a lot of glowy things happening on the screen. I can't exactly tell what's going on everywhere at once. Where's Electra? There she is. Electra's a lot tougher than I remember. She's cloaked, but since I have ice on her, she still shows up. I've been defeated. That's right, I wasn't paying enough attention to health. Good job, me. I see our other Iron Man is running the Venom Metal. It seems a pretty popular choice. Personally, I find the buff doesn't last long enough that I want to run that. Get my keys mixed up here. Okay. Now we're actually paying attention to things. Shield up. Come on, shield, there we go. Wow, that went down fast. This dumb ninja. Oh man. I'm sorry, I'm not saying lots of interesting things while this fight is going on, but I needed to actually start paying attention to the game, which not the most entertaining thing in the world. So let's see what this metal does. Just straight up plus 3% dodge chance and 33 physical damage to the attacker when you dodge. That's okay. And I'm mostly geared out in purples right now. They're like, you know, level dumb purples. I think that's a level 2. It's a level 6. That's another level 6. But they're still better than almost everything I've found for a long time. So we'll turn back to Avengers Tower. We are done with Magic. And here's another cutscene.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Is it a surprise party? I love surprise parties.
Not exactly.
This is a cease and desist order along with proof of Wilson Fisk's ownership of the tablet. That tablet belongs to my client. Now if, and only if, it's returned to his possession immediately, my client will not press charges.
Say what now?
Fisk's slimeball attorney is right. Hand it back.
Hill, you can't be serious.
You hand it over, or we will sue you people so hard we'll own this building, your shield, and the cute little eagle wings on your little hat.
No, we can't do this.
We have to.
We'll be watching you.
How could you let that happen?
My hands are tied, gentlemen. I'm not Nick Fury. I have to obey the law.
What do we do now?
You need to find someone who knows the ins and outs of Wilson Fisk and his empire. See if they can find a way to shut him down.
You know what? I know exactly who we need.
The Kingpin, right?
You're good, Yurik.
Okay, here's what you have to do.
I've just been sitting on this plan to make the Kingpin illegal for a while, so you guys can go ahead and use it if you want.
Hello, hero.
Oh, there's a big glob of experience that just dropped. Okay. What to do? So that was the end of that chapter, I believe. And I'm gonna hit up the crafting vendor real quick like and just dump my junk into his face.
Yes,
because I don't want it.
a lot of time in the lab. Why do you ask?
Oh, here's the attack. Damage changes on range up to plus 20%. 27% at maximum range. Reveals enemies on minimap. Okay, well, that's actually a really useful artifact. So it comes down to this, folks. Do I want to use an artifact that's actually useful and gives me all sorts of bonuses to things? Or do I want to keep looking obnoxious? It's up to you to decide while I craft shit. Which is just gonna take a little bit here, but not too long. Now I finally have enough of these to craft a fundamental element. Which is good, but I have no idea what it's for. Oh, he leveled up to 4. Oh, I can add a grade 2 nanotech filament. Do I have enough for a nanotech? I don't think I've got enough for a nanotech filament. Oh no. getting close. I'll be able to add another modifier to my costume. So this is the costume crafting system. You essentially get to choose if you want to add defensive or offensive affixes to your costume. You get one per grade, so you'll get, like, mine is a grade 1 defensive attribute, so it's plus 5% base health. Now that I've unlocked the grade 2 ones, I can add an offensive or defensive one to my costume also, which it does not get rid of the grade 1 affix. So, essentially, as you level up, you're making your costume more powerful. But you get to choose what costume you want stuff to be on, so you're not stuck with, like, well, I want, you know, Hulk to have his defensive powers get boosted, so I've got to use the Grey Hulk, because the Grey Hulk is the defensive one. Nope. Does not work that way, thankfully. I'm going to stick a motion tracker in there for now. Let's see. We got a lot of those primitive astral essences, so let's go ahead and craft those mofos. So with the inventory, you get one page for free, and then the other ones are, and again, this is if my conjecture about pricing is correct, which I'm pretty sure it is, $5.50 per extra page here, for just normal inventory. So you can have 3 standard inventory pages. The crafting specific pages, which are for crafting materials only, are 300 points each, which would be roughly $3. And then the character pages, which I'm hearing some conflicting info on, that you may get these for buying the character, but you don't get them if you like find the character as a drop, or they haven't exactly decided how this works yet. Those are $3.50 each. And those only hold hero-specific gear. So that's kind of like, if you're getting real endgame and you're like, well, I really want to store my 5, Cable costumes in here and I don't want to take up space in my main page, then you'll probably, want to pick up the Cable page. But again, like, the pricing for stuff in this is not bad. I've seen inventory, like, expansion costs be way worse in other games. Like, in Neverwinter, which I've been playing quite a bit of lately, and, like, an inventory expansion of, like, not even this many slots is $10. And that's not even, like, a bank storage. That's just, like, walk-around inventory stuff, which I don't think you can increase in this game. But with how cheap the summons are, you don't really need to worry about that, especially with body sliding back. But anyway, and this is only $5 for way more slots than that. So, I don't know, it feels like the pricing's pretty okay. It could be better, but it's not bad. It is not bad by any means. So what do I need? I need fundamental ionic particle and fundamental nanotech filament. Well, I've got a fundamental ionic particle, but I don't have a fundamental nanotech filament, so hopefully we can get one of those soon. I'm going to throw this retcon device in here with my other retcon devices. And these are interesting. This lets you upgrade blues to purples, like low level, mid level. Assumably there's a high level as well, and transform epic item, which lets you take a purple for another character and convert it into a purple for your character, which, like, sounds kind of dumb, but the items you need to do it are really easy to get, so it could be useful. This lets you unbind stuff. That's what these matrix of unbindings are for, if you didn't notice before. You can stick an item here, stick a matrix of unbinding in it, boom, it's not bound to you anymore, not bound to your specific character anymore, whatever. It's all good. So, I guess I didn't get a response on whether or not to use the thing that makes me do stuff instead of just look funky. So I'll just look funky. It says there's 6 people watching this stream, but I don't know if that's the truth anymore. So we're going to get into the author area just a little bit. Just check it out. And then I don't know. I'll either be done with streaming for the night or just done with Marvel Heroes. I'm not sure what else I'd stream though.
You done already?
So there's Multiple Man. He's got a trench coat, I guess. And we're gonna go fight Tombstone. Okay, well I'm not necessarily that eager to get back into a city, even if there's a comic books store and this physics-enabled shopping cart. I'm a soccer star. I'm a soccer star. I'm a soccer star. I'm a soccer star. Yeah. I think they did themselves a disservice by letting you go to Madripoor and then dumping you back into a city that looks really similar to the first area in the game, albeit slightly brighter, I guess. We'll see if we can find Green Goblin. But I'm not gonna wander around here for hours. Live shows all day. Open all night. Like, it's just a bad place. That's a horse poster. The Horse Apocalypse. They Cometh. That's a pretty good fake movie. That's a pretty good fake movie. I'm gonna go take a screenshot of that. Green Goblin escaped custody, now he's on the loose. Do. Okay. Oh, I seem to still be on a team with someone. Hey dude, I'm leaving your team. Sorry. Oh, those are police. MGH Leecher. I'm not sure what MGH is. It's like... oh, mutant growth hormone. Right? That's what that is. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. It's a mutant thing. You know, with the mutants... okay. There are two kinds of barrels in this game. Barrels you can kick, well, and barrels you can throw. It's important to know the difference between the two. So again, we're into a factory, which is really unfortunately similar to the first area. We're fighting dudes that we fought in like the first area of the game. It's a step backwards. What they needed to do at this point was kind of like branch out somewhere new. And once you get past this chapter, once you're done with Kingpin, you start fighting some really cool stuff like Sentinels. But here you're just fighting like this hunchback guy. And this big head lady. Lasers in your face, big head lady. Sorry, it's my job. And a trusty belt. There we go. Iron Man's trusty belt. So we'll go through here, we'll defeat Tombstone, and then we'll probably call on the night with Marvel Heroes. Want to finish it off with a nice boss fight. And hey, since we're fighting AIM, we might get to see a Dino Modoc. They're pretty rare, but one might show up. Hey! Don't ignore me, robot. That robot's just ignoring me. That's a jerk. What a jerk. Yeah, now he's paying attention. Now all his friends have started hanging out with me. And now he's too good for me because I killed one of them. That guy. That robot's always like that, man. Don't even go to his parties. He just thinks he's better than everyone. And he always spikes the punch, but he doesn't tell you. And it's not like the normal stuff. He spikes with weird stuff. I'm saying like Drano. The robots don't really know what people drink. It's not really his fault, you know, it's just a robot. Oh, did I kill that and not notice? I don't know. Oh, another chest. An awesome hammer! Hammer of Hammer Smash. Awesome hammer. Okay. It sounds pretty awesome. I like how the loot is named in this game, because most of the time it's really dumb. I think my favorite item I got was back in the beta, the closed beta. Well, this is still the closed beta. The early closed beta, before the NDA was lifted, which were the boots of punching, which just doesn't sound like they should be a thing. These boots help you punch. Okay, sure. I wish I could remember who they were for. Wow, these robots just, like, they're just too good for me. I don't know what it is. They'll start fighting me and then they just walk away. Not even like strategic retreat style. They'll just be like, eh, whatever. I'm leaving. That's Tombstone. Who in my head I had confused with Hammerhead. I don't know why I was expecting to fight Hammerhead. He's obviously Tombstone. Okay, we need to back off for a second. I'm about to die. So we got this guy out here solo. Much easier to deal with. What we in the industry like to call kiting. Those of us in the know. Dude, Tombstone, get out of the goddamn way. I'm trying to kill this guy. He's so... What? Why are they respawning? That's not supposed to happen in an instance. Okay. This is some high-level strategy shit right here. We're running around in circles, as seen in Iron Man number 473, when he had to defeat the really slow Mandarin. Okay, now that guy's dead. I can actually fight this dude. Don't jump on me, I'll jump on you. And I'll keep spamming health kits. So this is, unfortunately, sometimes the boss battle experience. In Marvel Heroes. Just kind of chugging health kits. I say chugging as if they were potions. Where did he go? Did you just teleport? You did! You teleported back to the other room and started healing, you asshole! That's a dick move. Like, just straight up. You shouldn't do that. That's not okay. Now he's dead. Who's a jerk?
It's crude, but it might be useful.
There's this guy. And there you have it. Oh no, that's only half of it. I have to find useful evidence. That sounds kind of boring though, so I'm gonna call the stream here. A fancy Iron Man and special guest star, Old Lace. And also, no dance emote, but Old Lace will roll around for you. And yeah, so it's Marvel Heroes. You know, check it out when it comes out, June 4th, very soon, very soon. It's super fun. The cash shop pricing does not seem to be bad at all. Don't buy the ultimate pack because it's $200. Don't buy that. That's a lot of money, and I don't think you want to play Marvel Heroes that much. But there's a lot of guys. There's all your favorites, like Black Panther and Hawkeye and The Thing. Those are your favorite characters. Like, you may not be aware of it, but I know you better than you know yourself. And all your favorite costumes, like giant shoulder pads and energy shield and Colossus with a cape. That's a favorite. You know, 90s Cyclops, Daredevil that showed up in one panel in a comic nobody read, Deadpool as the sheriff, Hawkeye as an old guy, Hulk in a business suit, you know, every Iron Man, Jean Grey in kinda inappropriate attire. And there's Captain Marvel. She's pretty cool. Punisher, also other Punisher. Rocket Raccoon has multiple costumes now, actually. He's got a Marvel Now costume and a Marvel Now costume and a really goofy looking old costume. Scarlet Witch has something. I don't know what that is. Spider-Man. You can be Red Spider-Man or Green Spider-Man. You could be both Spider-Mans just in time for Christmas. You can be Storm with a mohawk, because that's the Storm you should play as, because that's the cool one. You can be the Thing wearing just pants, wearing some shorts, wearing pants and a shirt. There's a couple Thors, but none of them are the cool Thor that I got. And also Wolverine with a bunch of teeth. All your favorite characters, like Old Lace, and Unstable Molecules, and no specials. Okay, I'm actually ending this now. Say goodbye, Iron Man. That's not... Okay, fine. That's saying goodbye. Whatever.